there's a couple of concepts that I have that helps me write. I'm not the kind of guy that gets up in the morning and have a song in his head. You know, it's usually the way I write is I'll noodle on the instrument over, you know, when I'm during the day or whatever, and then if something comes up, it could be a line, it could be a chord, it could be a groove, it could be anything really, of a couple of chord changes. I'm just going to record it, and then after a while, usually when I need to make a record, I'll listen to it, and then I'll see if there's anything that I like. And then once I found something that I like, then I was going to start developing it. And then all those concepts that I'm going to talk about are really helpful to develop the ideas that I have. So the first concept we're going to talk about is the concept of writing over vamps, which is maybe, I would say, 80% of what I write on my records, it's all based around vamps.
Can you explain what vamps is?
Yeah, so a vamp could be anything repeatedly, I guess. So it could be a 1 bar, 2 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar. Anything that's kind of repeated is a vamp. So let's say, I don't know, I can play, I'll just improvise now something. That was like a 2 or 4 bar vamp. Now you can add more changes and more chords, more whatever. So now just as an example, let's take this vamp and you guys just kind of do whatever you hear. 3, 4. So this is just basically a classic example how you can take something like that if you like the groove and start developing that into a song. So in my case, what I do, because I don't have a band available 24 hours, so what I do is I take this vamp, for example, whatever it was, and I record it. I find a good tempo. It's really important to find a good tempo. Then I record it to Pro Tools in my home studio, and then I'll program a drum beat that I think kind of fits it, and then I usually will come up with a bass line also. So once I have that, like whatever we just played, when we found a really good groove, once I listen to that, I go like, okay, that kind of starts inspiring me to keep going and to write. So now let's get into the actual ideas of how to write over this stuff. So there's two options. One thing that I do is to write over the vamp, and the other one is write around the vamp. So I'm going to show you one of my tunes called Come On, and I'm going to show you the vamp, and then I'm going to show you how I wrote over that vamp. Kind of going to give you an idea of how you can kind of develop things. So Come On, this is off my Who Gives a Funk album, it's my last album. So the riff that I had was this. I had it for years actually. I had it for like almost 20 years I had this thing. So it was this. So that was the bass line that I had. It's just something that was catchy that I don't know, 20 years ago I somehow, found. And I did do a recording of it, like a demo of it, so I had kind of an idea of what it is. And then I added these kind of quarter notes on the record is with a piano, but I kind of had it like on guitar, it would sound like. this going on for many, many months, and I thought like, wow, this is a really cool groove. So now my options would be in order to develop it, would be either to write a melody on top of the groove or around the groove. So I decided what I heard was playing something on top of the groove. So I came up with this melody. So just play 2, 3, 4. I don't like complicated music, and I like the stuff to be clear. Meaning, like, I don't like too much of fancy chords and too many, the rhythmical modulations or whatever you call it. Yeah. So, but I wanted to keep it interesting, so I took kind of this idea, and then I went to, because we were in a minor key, we're still in C minor, I went to like A minor half diminished to D7, which is kind of related to that scale in a way. So then I found this line. So it's kind of like the brother or sister of this. This is, and this one is. But harmonically was a little more developed, so I can kind of make it a little more interesting. So again, let's just vamp on that cycle, the whole cycle, and then the second time I'm going to play the melody on top of that. All right, 2, 'em, like the vamp, and then to write and make it interesting over those vamps, that it will still sound like it's a part of the song, but it's different,